Okay, so DBD just released their patch notes from the PTB that will be coming out with Vecna this following Tuesday on the 4th. There's also going to be a patch for Killer Clowns, so I don't really know what I'm going to do. Probably try to do a bit of both. Uh, as we roll into the 8.0 update, we made a series of changes in the PTB. So they reduced the spell cooldowns by 12 seconds, all spells, so I think that's a great change. Decrease charge time for spells to 0.2, increase the movement speed when charging a spell to 4 meters per second. That way you are actually not losing distance when you're charging it on a survivor. Balance adjustments to the add-ons, increase blood points for some score events. They increase the duration of fly to 4 seconds, increase friction at the end of flying, so I think this means you'll have better control when you're landing, and maybe you can body block survivors. The killer can now collide with survivors as oh yeah, so they can now collide with them. So you can actually body block survivors with this fly command. So it's like Wraith getting ahead of you in his cloak to block you from getting a vault or something. Reduce the Flight of the Damned spawn time to 0.5, increase the speed of it, and increase the Flight of the Damned recovery speed to 3.68. So they made it so casting it, you lose way less distance, and it casts way faster and moves faster. So maybe this will make it harder for them to dodge underneath it. It doesn't look like they're removing the crouching, so the crouching is still going to be the best way to dodge it, but we'll see. They did everything I wanted for the spear. They made it last a bit longer. They increased the movement speed significantly, and they also made it so it doesn't slow you down as much. Perfect changes for the spear. That's exactly what I wanted. They made it so the pallet lifts the pallet up faster, and they reduce the movement speed when you cast it, so you lose less distance. Perfect changes there. The only changes I think would be an issue are the being able to crouch under the skeletons, but we'll see how that is in game. Activating effects from Vecna's items inflict broken. I think that's a great balance change so people can't just spam it. And then they decrease the aura revealed by magic items to 1.5 seconds, so they can't also just infinitely see the items. They also changed again Blight's Pink add-on, so it no longer limits you to 3. You have 5 as per usual, but you can't add more like Adrenaline Vial. So this will make it so you can have a maximum of 55% turn rate. I think that's a good change. Bardic Inspiration now lasts 90 seconds after you use it, but it has a 90-second cooldown to go on top of it. Good change. Still Sight, they just increased the aura reading range, and it pairs with open-handed, they said. So you can stand still and see the killer within 36-meter range. I think that's pretty nutty. That's a pretty good change. They also buffed Weave Attunement to 12 meters. It still seems like it'll be a bit finicky, but maybe it'll still be good. 12 meters is pretty big range, so we'll see. And I still think they should have made this 30%, but 25% is just good enough. They just increased the ball speed. That's all they really had. I think these are good patch notes. Vecna will probably feel a lot better to play. His perks are still pretty bad, and the survivor perks are still pretty good. They did balance out Vecna's really strong items and just the lower tier items in general, so the counterplay is a bit weaker. The only issue is probably going to be his skeleton attack will still be useless, but we'll figure that out as we play him. I think these are good patch notes, though. I'm a little bit sad they didn't like adjust pop to like 25%. The 20% I feel is a little too low, but again, we'll test it out